everyone, welcome to Life Pig TV. Today, this is our part 1 of making Possum grape wine. And my mom is going to tell you what this stuff is. So go ahead and you can tell them.
All right, earlier today you saw our video about our possum grapes that we got from Granddad this week. We have now mashed them all, which took a little while, but they're in our bucket, and you'll see our wine bucket is lined with an old pillowcase. This is just a 3-gallon food grade plastic bucket. We've lined it with an old pillowcase which will serve as a filter. We've mashed all of our grapes. We've put them down into the pillowcase inside the bucket, and you'll notice that there's stems in there too. We left the stems in because they have good flavor and good stuff in them. Now we're going to show you what else we put in there to get our wine going, and Zoe's going to help me out. The first thing she's going to take is this pitcher right over here, which is 4 cups of plain cane sugar, organic cane sugar, and we filled up to the top, which is 8 cups of water. That's all it is. That is sugar dissolved in water, and she's going to pour that on top of our mashed grapes and stems in our bucket, and she's going to stir it in for us. Go ahead, honey.
And you'll also need a big spoon. We wrote about Zoe's wine stirring spoon, and I'm just going to spread it everywhere. And this is just a pillowcase, so it's not like it's going onto the towel, but it can if it has like a little hole in the bucket that spreads from the pillowcase.
But we don't have a hole in our bucket. Okay, if you can stir that sugar water around in there, get that all mixed in really good.
You can use a little spoon if you want to, but sometimes it's easier to like use a big spoon because it helps you mash it. But if you just want to use a metal spoon, or if you're in a different country, you can use your type of spoon, but we're just going to use this one.
Okay, and we're probably either going to make 1 gallon or 2 gallons. We're not sure exactly how much wine that these grapes are going to make, but we're going to start out with 1 gallon-ish. So we've poured 8 cups of water already in here with our sugar water. Now Zoe's going to pour 2 32-ounce bottles of grape juice in there too. We've got an organic grape juice from Trader Joe's, and it's 2 32-ounce bottles that we're using. We're kind of fortifying with commercial grape juice because these tiny little possum grapes don't make a whole heck of a lot of juice. Go ahead and open those up and pour them right in here.
All right, madam. So you would probably think that I would want to drink this. I do really much, but I'm going to save it for the wine because for some kids, they do not drink wine. But
you have some. You don't get wine either, but you have some grape juice that you can have. This is going in here. This is also going to provide us some extra sugar, which is why I backed off on the sugar just a little bit. Keep going. Yep, pour it all in there. We've got an extra bottle that you can have to drink if we need to. Now take your spoon again and stir us around a little bit. Get it all mixed in there good.
And make sure not to spill it because as you can see we have a red towel below. So in case it just has a little accident and spills.
We're trying not to stain stuff because you know how grape juice stains.
Especially
you can see
with
the color of the juice. The only other thing that we're going to add to this fancy little mixture we've got going on is I have stirred about a teaspoon of wine yeast into a little bit of water. We could actually make this without wine yeast, and that would be considered a wild fermentation because you just use the microbes that are already on the grapes. But just to make sure that we get us a good fermentation going, we're going to use a little bit of wine yeast. So if you will pour that little bit in there too, Zoe, that teaspoon of wine yeast along with a little bit of water. Here, shall I do it and then you can just stir?
Yeah.
All right, I'm pouring that in.
Here we go.
And I've got a little bit of excess in there. Let's rinse it out good.
Yeah, there we go.
We don't want to waste it. There we go. Now we got our wine yeast. So she's going to mash all that down. This is really all we have to do. This is the start of your wine. And this mixture is either called the must or the mash. And this is probably going to ferment for about 4 or 5 days for us. We're just going to kind of watch it because every batch is different. But by tomorrow, this should already be starting to bubble. And we will see how well these possum grapes are going to ferment. Okay, I think you've got it stirred up good. If you'll take our red and white towel that I have right there, drape it over the top of the bucket because we don't need any critters getting in our bucket while it is fermenting. And we're going to use just an old elastic that we're going to put around the top of the bucket there.
There you go.
And look, we're going to set that aside somewhere where it's cool for 3 or 4 days.
Like rest your knee on it.
And we're going to come back here in another day or two and let you see how things are going. So keep your fingers crossed for a great batch of possum grape wine. Can you say bye to everybody?
Have a great day or a great night or a great afternoon. But I hope you enjoyed this video. And I'll see you next time. Bye. Have a great